The stars looked beautiful from the main window of the luminous Hope. Captain Day watched them with pride. His ship was the newest and best science vessel of the Nuri people. Today they would map the outer edge of their home system. "Captain, I have strange readings." Jin looked up from her screen. Her eyes showed worry. Jin was the best scientist on the ship. When she worried, everyone worried. "Show me," said Day, moving to her station. The screen showed 5 large objects moving toward their system. They did not move like space rocks. They moved with purpose. "Ships?" asked Day. His heart beat faster. The Nuri had never met aliens before. They had always hoped to, but not like this. Not with ships that moved like hunters. "Yes, Captain, big ones." Jin tapped more buttons. "They are twice the size of our largest ships." Day took a deep breath. "This is what we trained for. First, contact. Send the welcome message on all channels." The crew worked fast. They sent the carefully made message that the Nuri had prepared for hundreds of years. It showed math, science, art, and peace. It showed who the Nuri were. They waited. 1 hour passed, then 2. "No answer, Captain," said the communications officer. Day frowned. "Keep trying. Maybe they don't understand yet." The strange ships kept coming. They passed the outer marker of the Nuri system. They moved fast. Then the emergency call came in. "Captain, the research base on Moon 6 is gone," yelled the communications officer. His face had turned pale. "They report 5 ships appeared and fired weapons. The base is destroyed." The bridge went silent. Destroyed. The Nuri had not had war for over 1,000 years. They had no weapons. On their ships or bases. "Get us closer," ordered Day. "We need to see these ships. We need to understand." "Captain, that's not safe," said Jin. "I know. But we need information." The luminous Hope changed course. As they got closer to Moon 6, they saw the remains of the research base. It was now just broken pieces floating in space. "More reports coming in," said the officer. "Moon 4 base also destroyed. Moon 2 base calling for help." Day felt cold fear inside. This was not first contact. This was something terrible. "Send a warning to the home planet," he ordered. "All ships and bases must run." Jin worked on her screen. "Captain, I found something. These ships are putting out a scan wave. They seem to be looking for our energy signature." "Our drives?" asked Day. "No, something else. The energy our technology makes, it's unique to Nuri tech." Day thought quickly. "Can we hide it?" Jin shook her head. "Not easily. Our whole civilization uses this energy type." A loud alarm sounded. 3 of the strange ships had changed course. They were heading straight for the luminous Hope. "Full speed away," ordered Day. "Back to the home planet. We must warn everyone." The ship turned and raced toward the Nuri homeworld. The alien ships followed, gaining speed. "They're faster than us," said the pilot. Jin looked at her readings again. "Captain, I've been studying their scan pattern. They're not just looking for our ships. They're mapping all Nuri energy sources in the system." "Why?" asked Day. "I think they're making a complete map of our civilization," said Jin. Her voice shook. Every city, every base, every ship. The meaning hit Day hard. They're preparing for a full attack. As they approached the home planet, they saw more of the alien ships had arrived. 7 of them now formed a pattern around the planet, not attacking, yet just watching, circling, like animals circling their prey before the kill. "What are they waiting for?" asked one of the crew. Jin's screen beeped with new information. "Captain, I've analyzed their movement pattern. This isn't just an attack, it's like they're setting up a harvest." "Harvest?" Day felt sick. "Yes. The way they're positioning, it's to stop anyone from leaving. They're not destroying the planet right away. They're trapping us." The luminous Hope received a call from the planet government. The highest leader of the Nuri appeared on screen. "Captain Day, we've lost contact with all outer bases," said the leader. "What are we facing?" "Hostile aliens," said Day. "They seem to be preparing for a large-scale attack on our world. They're blocking escape paths. We have no weapons, said the leader, her voice steady but afraid. We have no defense systems. I know, said Dee. We need to evacuate as many as possible before they complete their circle around the planet. Already started, said the leader. But we have billions of people, and these ships are fast. Jin spoke up. Leader, I believe they're tracking our energy signature. If we could change it somehow. Impossible on such a scale, said the leader. Our entire civilization is built on that technology. One of the alien ships moved closer to the luminous Hope. A strange beam shot out, hitting the ship. What was that? Asked Day. Some kind of scan, said Jin. Very powerful. They're looking inside our ship. The communication system sparked and died. They've cut our connection to the planet, said the officer. Day looked out at the alien ships now forming a tighter circle around the planet. Their home was being surrounded. Jin, he said quietly, the deep space communication array. Can you access it? Jin nodded. Yes, it's on a separate system. Send a distress call. Send it to everyone. Any civilization that might hear us. Jin worked quickly. What should I say? Tell them who we are. Tell them we're peaceful. Tell them we need help. Day looked at the alien ships again. And tell them to be careful. These hunters are dangerous. Jin sent the message on all frequencies the deep array could reach. The message shot out into space, traveling faster than light, carrying the desperate call of the Nuri people. Then the alien ships moved closer. A new, larger ship appeared from far away. It was massive, at least 10 times the size of the luminous Hope. Captain, said Jin, looking at her readings. I've translated some of their communications. They call themselves the Vorak. And? Asked Day. And they're talking about processing our planet. They've done this before, Captain, many times. The luminous Hope shook as another beam hit it. They're trying to disable us, said the pilot. Day watched as the circle of hunter ships tightened around his world. Hundreds of small ships now launched from the larger vessels, heading toward the planet's surface. Keep broadcasting the distress. Call, said Day. As long as we can. Jin nodded, tears in her eyes. I just hope someone is listening. Far away, at the edge of another system, a small human patrol ship picked up a strange signal. Commander Han listened to the translated message, with growing concern. Set course for these coordinates, he told his crew. Someone needs help. Commander Han played the distress message again. The strange voice sounded scared. Help us. We are the Nuri. We are peaceful explorers. Hunter ships attack our world. They call themselves Vorak. They destroy our bases. They circle our planet. We have no weapons. Please help if you can. Be careful. They are dangerous. Han rubbed his tired eyes. His ship, the Swift Defender, was small compared to the main ships of Earth's fleet. It carried only 30 crew members and had limited weapons. But it was fast and it was here. What do you think, June? Han asked his tactical officer. June frowned at the message. He was the most careful person on the ship. That's why Han trusted him. It could be a trap, said June. We know nothing about either species. True, said Han, but that fear in their voice sounds real. The bridge of the Swift Defender was quiet. Everyone waited for the commander's decision. Let's see what our translator can tell us about them, said Han. He played the message through the advanced translation system. After a minute, the computer showed its results. Language patterns suggest extreme distress, read the screen. Speaker is from a highly developed civilization with complex thought patterns. No signs of deception detected. That's something, said Han. Now, what about these Vorak they mentioned? June checked the database. Nothing in our records about either species, Commander. We're too far from Earth's usual territory. Han looked at the star map. The Nuri system was 3 days away at top speed. Earth Command was 15 days away by message. If he asked for orders, it would be a month before help arrived. Send a message to Earth Command, Han decided. Tell them we've received a distress call and we're going to investigate. Request. Backup, but we're not waiting, sir. June looked surprised. We're just one ship. Han nodded. One ship might be enough to gather information, maybe even help somehow. And if these Vorak are as dangerous as the message says, then Earth needs to know about them anyway, said Han. Better we find out now than wait for them to reach our colonies. The crew prepared the ship for fast travel. In the engine room, Engineer Sue checked all systems. Commander, she called over the comm, if we're heading into danger, I have an idea that might help us. Han went down to the engine room. Sue was small but tough. Her hands were always dirty from working on the engines. What's your idea? Asked. Sue pointed to her screen. I've been studying the distress signal. The Nuri use a special kind of energy that gives off a unique radiation signature. I bet that's how these Vorak are tracking them. And I can modify our engines to mask our own signature. Make us look like space debris instead of a ship. Han smiled. How long? 6 hours, said Sue. Before we reach the Nuri system. Do it, said Han. Good thinking. Back on the bridge, Han addressed the crew. Listen up, he said. We don't know what we're heading into, but we do know someone needs help. Humans have been exploring space for only 50 years. In that time, we've met 3 other species. All peaceful like us. He paused, looking at each crew member. But we didn't get to space by being weak. Earth has had wars. We know how to fight. We keep our ships armed because we remember our history. If these Vorak think attacking peaceful worlds is easy, they might need to learn about humans. The crew nodded. They were nervous but ready. We're not going in to start a war, Han continued. We're going to assess the situation, help if we can, retreat if we must, but we will not ignore a call for help. 3 days later, the Swift Defender approached the edge of the Nuri system. Sue's modifications worked perfectly. Their ship now gave off the same energy signature as a medium-sized space rock. Slow approach, ordered Han. Let's see what we're dealing with. What they saw shocked everyone. Huge ships, at least 20 of them, surrounded a blue-green planet. The Vorak ships were massive, each one at least 5 times the size of Earth's largest vessel. My God, whispered June. Those things are enormous. The Vorak ships moved in a pattern around the planet. Smaller ships flew down to the surface and back up to the big ships. It looked organized and efficient. They're harvesting, said Han, his voice hard. Just like the message said. Commander, said the sensor officer, I'm detecting a lot of small, hidden energy sources on the planet. Some people must be hiding underground. Can we contact them without the Vorak hearing? Asked Han. Jun studied his console. Maybe, if we use tight beam communication aimed at one of those hidden spots. Do it, said Han. Try to find someone in charge. After an hour of careful attempts, a face appeared on their screen. It was a Nuri woman with light purple skin and large, worried eyes. I am Jin, she said in a shaky voice. Who are you? I'm Commander Han of the Earth ship Swift Defender. We received your distress call. Jin's eyes widened. You came? Just one ship? For now, said Han. Tell me what's happening there. Jin explained quickly. The Vorak had surrounded their planet 3 weeks ago. They were taking people and resources. The Nuri had hidden many of their people underground, but food was running low. What do these Vorak want? Asked Han. Everything, said Jin. They take our metals, our technology, our people. They are collectors. They find advanced worlds, take what they want, and leave nothing behind. Han felt cold anger rise inside him. How many of your people are left? About 3 billion, said Jin. Maybe half our population, the rest. Her voice broke. I understand, said Han. Do you have any defenses at all? Jin shook her head. The Nuri gave up weapons 1,000 years ago. We believed space was peaceful. Han looked at June. Options? June looked grim. We can't fight that many ships, Commander. Earth fleet could, but not us alone. What about their technology level? Asked Han. How do they compare to us? Jin sent them some scans of the Vorak ships. Sue studied them carefully. Their weapons are strong, said Sue, but their shield technology isn't as advanced as ours. And their propulsion system has a weakness. What weakness? Asked Han. It relies on a specific frequency to function. If we could disrupt that frequency, Han turned back to Jin on the screen. You said the Nuri are peaceful, but you must have technology. Research equipment? Energy systems? Jin nodded slowly. Yes. We have many research stations around the Yo planet. Advanced energy technology. Could your stations be modified to emit a disruption field? Asked Han. Jin thought for a moment. Perhaps. If we had the right specifications. Su leaned forward. I can give you those specifications. A small smile appeared on Jin's face, the first hope they had seen. Then there is a chance, she said. A small one, said Han. But sometimes that's all humans need. As they talked, one of the Vorak ships changed course. It was heading toward a new target. Commander, said the sensor officer. I think they've detected us. One of their hunter ships is coming this way. Han looked at his crew, then back at Jin on the screen. Send us the locations of your hidden groups, he said quickly. And the specs of your research stations. We'll need to work fast. Jin nodded and the data transfer began. Han turned to his crew. Looks like we've been noticed. Time to show these Vorak what humans can do. The Swift Defender powered up its engines. The small human ship faced the approaching Vorak hunter. David against Goliath. But this David had some tricks up his sleeve. Ready. Weapons, ordered Han. Let's give them something to think about. The Vorak hunter ship was huge up close. The Swift Defender seemed tiny next to it, like a small fish next to a shark. Hold position, ordered Han. Don't fire unless I say so. The crew watched nervously as the Vorak ship scanned them. The alien vessel was covered in strange marks and had what looked like collection pods attached to its sides. They're sending a signal, said the communications officer. Should I answer? Han nodded. Audio only. Let's hear what they have to say. A harsh voice filled the bridge. It spoke in a strange language that sounded like rocks grinding together. Our translator is working on it, said June. After a moment, he reported, they're asking who we are, and what we're doing in their harvest zone. Their harvest zone? Han's face hardened. Tell them we are a ship from Earth observing only. The message was sent. The Vorak ship moved closer. They're responding, said June. They say they've never heard of Earth. They want to know if we're allied with the Nuri. Han thought quickly. Tell them we are scientists studying space in this region. We just arrived and are neutral observers. After the message was sent, the Vorak ship seemed to consider this. It moved back slightly but still watched them. I think it worked, said June. They're not attacking yet, but they're definitely keeping an eye on us. Good, said Han. That gives us time. Keep them talking. Ask about their harvest process. Sound interested? While June kept the Vorak distracted with questions, Han opened a secure channel to Jin on the planet's surface. We've made contact with one of their ships, he told her. We're posing as neutral observers to buy time. Jin looked relieved. Good idea. We've started modifying the research stations based on Su's specifications, but we need more time. How long? Asked Han. At least 12 hours, said Jin. We have to change the energy output on all 26 stations around the planet, and we're doing it in secret, moving only at night. Han nodded. We'll try to keep their attention as long as possible. Can you tell me more about these Vorak? Anything that might help us? Jin's face darkened. They are collectors. They travel through space finding advanced civilizations. Then they take everything of value. Resources, technology, even people. People? For what purpose? Jin looked sick. From what we've learned by intercepting their communications, they study other species, take them apart to learn how they work. They see all other life forms as resources to be used. Han felt cold anger rise in him again. How many worlds have they done this to? Many, said Jin. We found records in their communications of at least 30 other civilizations they've harvested. Some completely destroyed. Others left with just enough people to rebuild, only to be harvested again centuries later. Like farming, said Han, disgusted. Exactly, said Jin. They don't see us as equals. Just crops to be harvested when ready. The communication suddenly broke up with static. Jin's image flickered. They're jamming us, said the communications officer. The Vorak must have detected our signal. Han turned to Sue. Can you clear it up? Sue worked at her console. I'll try to bounce it off one of the moons, might give us a few more minutes. Jin's image returned, but it was weak. Not much time, she was saying. They're sending more ships to the surface. Our largest hiding place may have been found. Where? Asked Han urgently. Northern continent, underground science center. 5,000 people, mostly children, and our best scientists. Han made a quick decision. We need to draw their attention away from that area. June, prepare weapons. We're going to give the Vorak something else to worry about. Sir? June looked concerned. We're outnumbered and outgunned. I know. But we don't need to win a battle. We just need to create a distraction. Han turned to the helmsman. Take us closer to the main Vorak fleet, but keep distance for a quick escape. Weapons officer. Target one of the smaller hunter ships away from the northern continent. The Swift Defender moved swiftly toward the Vorak fleet. The hunter ship that had been watching them followed closely. Target locked, said the weapons officer. Fire, ordered Han. The human ship's weapons fired at one of the smaller Vorak vessels. The shots hit perfectly, causing damage to the alien ship's outer hull. Immediately, several Vorak ships changed direction, heading toward the Swift Defender. Now we run, said Han. Full speed away from the northern continent, make them chase us. The Swift Defender turned and raced away from the planet. 4 Vorak ships followed, exactly as Han had hoped. They took the bait, said June. But now we have 4 hunter ships after us. That's 4 ships not looking for Nuri hiding places, said Han. Plus, now we get to see how they fight. The human ship weaved through space using its smaller size to make quick turns the larger Vorak ships couldn't match. When one got too close, they fired just enough to keep its interest without causing serious damage. They're not as fast as they look, observed Sue. And their turning ability is poor. Noted, said Han. Let's learn everything we can about them, while we have their attention. For 3 hours, the Swift Defender played a dangerous game of cat and mouse with the Vorak ships. They led the aliens on a long chase through the outer parts of the system, then doubled back toward the planet using a slingshot maneuver around one of the moons. The move surprised the Vorak ships, which took longer to change course. By the time they had turned around, the Swift Defender was already heading back to the planet, this time to the southern hemisphere. Re-establish contact with Jin, ordered Han. Jin's face appeared on screen. She looked tired but hopeful. Your distraction worked. The Vorak ships left the northern area. Our people are safe for now. Good. How are the modifications going? Better than expected, said Jin. We've completed 18 of the 26 stations. But the Vorak seem more agitated now. They've increased their harvesting speed. Han looked at his tactical display. The Vorak ships were forming a tighter circle around the planet. They know something is happening, said Han. They're getting nervous. Or hungry, said Jin darkly. When they feel threatened, they take more faster. Suddenly, a massive Vorak ship moved into orbit above the planet. It was twice the size of any they had seen before. What is that? Asked Han. Jin's eyes widened. The command ship. It only appears when they're ready for final harvest. We're running out of time. The 4 hunter ships that had been chasing the Swift Defender were catching up again. Commander, said June. We can't keep this up much longer. Our shields are down to 40% and weapons energy is at 35%. Han nodded. We've done what we can up here. Now we need to help on the ground. He turned to Jin. We're coming down. Send coordinates for a safe landing zone near one of your research stations. But the Vorak will see you, protested Jin. Not if we time it right, said Han. So, can you boost the stealth modifications? Make us look like space debris falling to the planet? Sue nodded. I can make us look like we're breaking up. They might think we were damaged in the chase. Do it, said Han. He looked at his brave crew. We're taking this fight to the ground. Jin needs our help to finish those modifications before the final harvest begins. The swift defender turned toward the planet, engines flaring as if damaged. The Vorak ships followed at a distance, watching what they thought was a dying enemy vessel. Little did they know, the first humans were about to set foot on Nuri soil. And with them they brought something the peaceful Nuri had long forgotten: the will to fight back. The swift defender landed in a thick forest on the southern continent of the Nuri world. Trees with purple leaves hid the ship from view above. Han had brought a small team: himself, June, Sue, and 2 security officers. "Amazing," said Sue, looking at the strange plants around them. "Everything here glows slightly." "The Nuri evolved with bioluminescence," explained Jin, who had come to meet them. "It helped us see predators at night." Jin looked different in person. Her skin had a soft purple glow, and her eyes were large and reflective. She led them quickly through the forest to a hidden entrance in the ground. "Welcome to Research Station 12, she said as they descended into a large underground complex, one of our main atmospheric study centers. Inside, dozens of Nuri scientists worked on large machines. The equipment filled a room the size of a small stadium. Everything was clean and elegant, built with smooth curves rather than sharp angles. "This is incredible technology," said Sue, examining the machines. "What did these do before?" "They studied and cleaned our atmosphere," said Jin. "They can detect and filter particles as small as individual molecules from up to 30 miles above." Han nodded. "And now we're turning them into weapons." Jin looked uncomfortable. "Not weapons exactly, more like defensive tools." "Call it what you want," said June, "as long as it stops the Vorak." Sue got to work with the Nuri scientists. Though they couldn't speak each other's language directly, they understood the universal language of science and engineering. Sue showed them how to reverse the energy collection systems to create a disruption pulse that would affect the Vorak ships. "The key is the frequency," Sue explained, using diagrams rather than words. "We need to match exactly the frequency their propulsion systems use." Meanwhile, Han and June set up a communication system to coordinate with the other research stations around the planet. "We need all stations to fire at exactly the same time," said Han. "One pulse won't be enough. We need to hit them from all sides." Jin nodded. "We've modified 23 stations now. The last 3 are in areas heavily patrolled by Vorak ships." "How much time do we have?" asked Han. Jin checked a display showing the positions of the Vorak ships. "The command ship is powering up something big. Maybe a day, maybe less." June looked worried. "Will that be enough time?" "It has to be," said Han. A loud alarm suddenly rang through the complex. A Nuri technician ran into the room, speaking quickly to Jin. "What's happening?" asked Han. "Vorak ships have landed 3 miles from here," translated Jin. "They're searching the forest. They must have detected our landing after all," said June. Han made a quick decision. "June, stay here and help finish the modifications. I'll take our security team and create another distraction." "That's too dangerous," said Jin. "The Vorak ground forces are heavily armed." Han checked his weapon. "So are we, and we're trained for this. Your people aren't." Before Jin could argue further, the complex shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. "They're using ground scanners," said Jin. "They'll find us soon." "Then we need to move faster," said Han. "Sue, how much longer?" 2 hours to finish this station," said Sue. "Then we need to synchronize with all the others." Han nodded. "You've got 1 hour, then we need to be ready." Outside, Han and the 2 security officers moved quietly through the purple forest. They could see 3 Vorak ships in a clearing ahead. The Vorak themselves were coming out now. Tall, gray creatures with 4 arms and hard plates covering their bodies like armor. "Ugly fellows," whispered one of the security officers. The Vorak carried long weapons and scanning devices. They moved in a careful pattern, searching the forest systematically. "They're too close to the research station," said Han. "We need to lead them away." He pointed to a ridge about a mile distant. "We'll set up an energy signature there that matches the Nuri technology." Make them think that's where everyone is hiding. The three humans moved carefully, setting up small devices that Sue had made to mimic Nuri technology signals. Once they were in place, Han activated them. The effect was immediate. The Vorak turned toward the new signals and began moving away from the research station. "It's working," whispered the security officer. "They're taking the bait." "Good," said Han. "Now let's get back and—" A shot hit a tree near Han's head. One of the Vorak had spotted them. "Run," shouted Han. The three humans raced through the forest, dodging energy blasts from the Vorak weapons. They split up, each taking a different path to confuse their pursuers. Han ran hard, jumping over fallen trees and ducking under branches. He could hear the heavy footsteps of Vorak soldiers behind him. He needed to buy more time for Sue and the others. He found a small stream and ran through it, hoping to hide his trail. Then he doubled back toward the Vorak ships. If he could cause damage to their vessels, it might create an even bigger distraction. Han reached the edge of the clearing where the Vorak ships sat unguarded. Most of the soldiers were now searching the forest. He crept closer, weapon ready. Inside the research station, Sue and the Nuri scientists worked frantically to finish the modifications. "We're almost there," said Sue. "Just need to calibrate the pulse amplitude." Jin was coordinating with the other stations around the planet. 25 stations ready now," she reported. "Just one more to go." June kept checking the time. "It's been nearly an hour. Han should be back by now." A loud explosion shook the ground. "What was that?" asked Jin, alarmed. June checked the perimeter. "Sensors." "Something blew up near the Vorak landing site." "Han," said Sue with a small smile. "Creating a distraction as usual." Outside, Han ran back toward the research station. Behind him, one of the Vorak ships burned. Its fuel cells ruptured. By a well-placed shot, the Vorak soldiers had all turned back to deal with the fire, giving Han the chance to escape. He met his security officers at the rendezvous point, and they returned to the underground complex together. "Nice explosion," said June as Han entered. "Dirty and out of breath." "Thanks," said Han. "How are we doing here?" "Ready," said Sue proudly. "All 26 stations are modified and synchronized." Jin showed Han the display. All around the planet, the research stations were connected and ready to fire. "Now we need to get their attention," said Han. "Make all the Vorak ships come close. Enough to be affected by the pulse." "How do we do that?" asked Jin. Han smiled. "We use the one thing the Vorak can't resist, new technology to harvest." He turned to Sue. "Can you modify our ship's energy signature to look like something that Vorak have never seen before? Something too tempting to ignore?" Sue thought for a moment. "I can make it look like we have some kind of super advanced power source. Crank up the energy readings to make them think we have technology beyond anything they've encountered." "Do it," said Han. "We'll fly right up to their command ship. When they all come to investigate, Jin will trigger the pulse from all stations simultaneously." Jin looked worried. "But your ship will be caught in the pulse too. Your systems will shut down just like theirs." "We'll take that risk," said Han. "Just make sure the pulse only affects their propulsion systems, not life support. We don't want to kill them. Just stop them." As they prepared to return to the Swift Defender, Jin put a hand on Han's arm. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. "You could have observed and left. This isn't your fight." Han looked at her seriously. "Because on Earth we learned a hard lesson. When good people do nothing, evil wins. We won't stand by and watch another species be harvested like crops." Jin's eyes shimmered with emotion. "Thank you," she said simply. The humans returned to their ship and prepared for the most dangerous part of their plan. Above them, the Vorak command ship began powering up its harvest beam. Time was running out for the Nuri world. The Swift Defender rose from the forest, leaves swirling in its wake. Sue had modified the engines to emit a strange, pulsing energy signature, unlike anything the Vorak had seen before. "We're broadcasting on all frequencies," said June. "The Vorak will definitely notice us." Han sat in the commander's chair watching the screens carefully. "Take us straight up, right toward their command ship. Nice and slow. We want them to get a good look at us." The small human ship climbed through the atmosphere, making no attempt to hide. Its engines glowed with an unusual blue-green light, designed to attract attention. "They've spotted us," reported June. 3 hunter ships are changing course to intercept." "Good," said Han. "Keep going." In the underground research station, Jin watched the human ship on her screens. She was connected to all 26 research stations around the planet, ready to activate the pulse when Han gave the signal. "The brave little ship," she whispered. "Please be safe." The swift defender continued upward, now fully in space. The massive Vorak command ship loomed ahead, surrounded by its fleet of hunter ships. The command ship was enormous, easily 1,000 times larger than the human vessel. "We're being scanned," said Sue. "They're very interested in our special engine signature." Han smiled. "I bet they are. Slow to half speed. Make them think we're having engine trouble." The swift defender reduced speed, appearing to struggle. The hunter ships moved closer, surrounding the small human vessel. "They're hailing us," said June. "Answer them," said Han. "Audio only." The harsh voice of the Vorak commander filled the bridge. The translator converted it to English. "Unknown vessel, you possess technology of interest. Power down and prepare to be harvested." Han looked at his crew, then responded, "This is Commander Han of the Earth ship Swift Defender. We will not power down. You will cease your attack on the Nuri people and leave this system immediately." There was a pause, then what sounded like laughter came through the speakers. "One small ship gives orders to the Vorak fleet. You are either brave or foolish. Your technology will be added to our collection. Your species will be studied." More hunter ships moved to join the others. Now the Swift Defender was surrounded by 12 Vorak vessels, with more approaching. "They're powering up weapons," reported June. Han opened a secure channel to Jin. "They're in position. Almost all their ships are focused on us now. Are you ready?" "Ready," said Jin. "All stations standing by." "On my mark," said Han. He waited as more Vorak ships moved closer, drawn by the lure of new technology. The command ship itself was now turning its attention to the small human vessel. "Mark," said Han. On the planet below, Jin activated all 26 research stations simultaneously. Each station fired a precisely calibrated energy pulse into the atmosphere. The pulses spread outward, invisible but powerful, reaching into space. The effect was immediate. The Vorak ships suddenly stopped moving. Their weapons powered down. Their engines flickered and died. "It worked," exclaimed Sue. "Their propulsion systems are offline." As predicted, the Swift Defender was also affected. Its engines shut down, leaving the ship drifting in space among the immobilized Vorak fleet. "Switching to backup power," said Sue. "Emergency systems only." Han opened a channel to the Vorak command ship. "Attention, Vorak vessel. Your ships are disabled. You have no propulsion and limited power, but your life support systems are still functioning for now." There was no response at first. Then the Vorak commander's voice came through, angry and confused. "What have you done? This is impossible." "Not impossible," said Han calmly. "Just something you haven't seen before, a species fighting back." "We will repair our systems," growled the Vorak commander. "And then we will destroy your world too." "I don't think so," said Han. "First, this isn't our world. We are simply helping the Nuri protect themselves. Second, we've recorded everything about this encounter and sent it to Earth. Our fleet is already on its way, and Earth has many, many ships. This was a bluff. Earth's fleet was weeks away at best. But the Vorak didn't know that." "We've never heard of Earth," said the Vorak commander, "but with less confidence now. And that was your mistake," said Han. "Humans don't like bullies. We don't like species that prey on peaceful worlds. And we have a habit of protecting those who can't protect themselves." Han nodded to Sue, who activated a special program. One of the disabled smaller Vorak ships suddenly had its power systems overloaded. The ship exploded in a bright flash. "That was a demonstration," said Han. "We can destroy your entire fleet the same way, or you can leave this system and never return." There was a long silence then. We'll consider your terms. Good, said Han. You have 1 hour. After that, we start destroying more ships. Han closed the channel and let out a long breath. That was close. Sue, tell me we can't actually destroy their other ships. Sue grinned. We can't. That was the only one I had time to program the overload sequence for. The rest is just a bluff. Let's hope they don't call it, said June. For the next hour, they watched and waited. The Vorak ships remained disabled, drifting in space. Then, suddenly, emergency power systems began activating on the Vorak command ship. They're trying to restore power, said June, alarmed. Han quickly reopened the channel to Jin. They're powering up again. Can you hit them with another pulse? Yes, said Jin, but it will take 20 minutes to recharge the stations. Do it, said Han, as fast as you can. But before the stations could recharge, the Vorak commander contacted them. Earth vessel, said the harsh voice. We will withdraw. This harvest is not worth the cost. Han tried not to show his relief. A wise decision, but know this. The Nuri system is now under Earth's protection. If you return, you will face our full fleet. We will remember Earth, said the Vorak commander, with what sounded like a threat in his voice. Good, said Han. Make sure others do too. Slowly, using emergency backup systems, the Vorak fleet managed to move away from the planet. The massive command ship led the way, followed by the hunter ships that could still move. A few remained, drifting, too damaged to follow. 3 days later, a small fleet of Earth Defense Force ships arrived, responding to Han's initial message. They established a permanent protective presence in the Nuri system. On the Nuri homeworld, a celebration was held. Captain Dai, who had survived the initial attack, stood with Commander Han and Jin on a balcony overlooking the capital city. How can we ever thank you? Asked Dai. Han shook his head. No thanks needed. This is what humans do. We help when we can. Jin looked at Han curiously. Your species knows war well, yet you use that knowledge to prevent it when possible. That is unusual. Humans are complicated, admitted Han. We've fought each other for centuries, but we've learned from that. We know the cost of war, so we value peace more. Word of what happened here is spreading, said Dai. Other species are talking about how one small human ship faced down the dreaded Vorak fleet. Han smiled. Let them talk. Maybe it will make other bullies think twice. 6 months later, a peaceful species called the Mavis detected strange ships entering their system. The ships circled their outer planets, destroying research bases. The Mavis prepared for the worst. But then something strange happened. The Vorak ships detected a small vessel at the edge of the system. Just one ship. When they identified it as human, the entire Vorak fleet retreated immediately. The Mavis were confused until they received a message from the human ship. Greetings. From Earth. We heard you might need some friends. Back on the Nuri homeworld, Jin's child Tae sat on Han's lap in the new joint Nuri Human Space Center. The building was filled with both species working together, combining Nuri science with human protection. Tell me the story again, asked Tae, eyes wide with wonder. About the hunter ships. Han smiled and began. Once upon a time, the hunter ships circled the aliens until humans appeared. And throughout the galaxy, word spread of a new species that would not stand by while others suffered. Humanity had earned its reputation. Defenders of the defenseless, protectors of peace, and the species you did not want to make angry. When other predatory civilizations heard the words, Earth ship detected, they learned to do one simple thing: run.